Welcome, everybody, to the Superhumanistic podcast, where we talk about all things health, wellness, and longevity. Thank you for joining us today. We are your hosts. I'm David.
I'm Jessica.
Make sure that you hit that follow and subscribe button on this podcast so you never miss another episode. We put out one episode a week on Saturdays. Make sure that you share this podcast with someone that you love that is also on a health and wellness journey so they can live a longer, healthier, happier life. And don't forget to leave us a rating and review. That'll help others find this podcast so that they can receive help as well through health and wellness. Last week, we talked about
the hormone reset.
The hormone reset. So if you want to learn more about how to reset your hormones through sleep and those type of things, go back and listen to last week's episode. This week, we are going to be talking about blood pressure. I know I went for a physical recently, and my doctor talked about that my blood pressure was high and, was already talking about potentially prescribing pills. And I'm like, whoa, I work out, I eat healthy, but for me, it's probably too much salt. So I've been focusing on reducing that, and we'll see how it goes for the next physical. But let me ask you a question. When's the last time that you checked your blood pressure?
And not at the doctor's office. We're talking about getting it checked out consistently at home.
Because today we're talking about one of the most overlooked, but really one of the most important health metrics in your body.
Yeah, blood pressure really isn't just about your heart. It's actually a window into your metabolism, stress levels, your vascular health, and even your risk of cognitive decline.
And according to top longevity experts, it might be one of the strongest predictors of how long you live and how well you live as well. So let's jump into this. Why blood pressure matters more than you think. So experts like Peter Attia and David St. Clair emphasize something critical. Cardiovascular health is the foundation of longevity.
Yeah, and blood pressure is one of the clearest signals of that system. When your blood pressure is elevated over time, so we talk about a lot of chronic, so if it's elevated over time, it silently is damaging our arteries, brain tissue, kidneys, and our heart muscle.
That's why it's called the silent killer. There's no symptoms until there's a serious problem.
Right. So what do our numbers actually mean? I know when I get my blood pressure done at the doctor's office, or even when I've done it at home or at my parents' house, they give me the two numbers and I'm like, okay, thanks. I don't understand what that means, but thank you. So to simplify this, blood pressure does have those two numbers. So your top number, or the systolic number, that's your pressure when your heart is beating. And then the diastolic number, or the bottom number, is the pressure when your heart is at rest.
So yeah, general guidelines there, as you mentioned. I never really know what they mean when they give me the number, and I'm like, is that good? They're like, yeah. So optimal is 120/80, and elevated is 120 to 129/80, and high is 130 plus.
Yeah, but here's where experts like Peter Attia push a bit further. Your normal isn't always optimal. Many longevity-focused physicians aim for the systolic closer to 110 to 120. So it's in between those two numbers, and that, again, is that top number that you get read back to you.
All right, guys, let's learn how to monitor it correctly. So this is where most people get it wrong. They rely on the occasional readings at the doctor's office for that physical, like I mentioned earlier.
Yeah, which are often inaccurate because of something called the white coat hypertension. Your blood pressure spikes due to that stress that we're experiencing just being in the doctor's office.
Yeah, I've definitely experienced that stress of just not wanting to know some bad results that might be coming your way or something like that. So you definitely feel that pressure and a little bit of a intensity when you're in that doctor's office. So let's talk about the gold standard. So here's how to do it properly so you avoid that spike by entering in the doctor's office and the pressure that goes along with that. You're going to use a validated upper arm cuff. Sit quietly for 5 minutes before measuring. Then feet flat on the ground. arm at heart level, and then no caffeine beforehand.
And don't just take one reading. You want to aim to take 2 to 3 readings at the same time each day, and then track those trends over time.
Yeah, consistency beats randomness here, so super important to do that. Next, we will jump into why the blood pressure goes up.
So if you have high blood pressure, it's not always random. It usually is a result of a few key drivers.
All right, let's break them down.
All right, so one, of course, the most probably highest cause of high blood pressure would be chronic stress. Stress keeps your nervous system in that fight or flight, which then increases our heart rate, our vessel constriction, and blood pressure.
Next one, number 2, is going to be poor diet, especially high sodium plus low potassium. That's what I was talking about earlier. I'm definitely on that high sodium side. So as I was mentioning to my wife last night, I'm making an effort to reduce that. In my cooking, I am just putting a dash of salt right now, but I'm probably going to have to even reduce that to 0 salt soon. So that's the journey that I'm on with it. Also, processed foods is another one, and excess sugar.
Yeah, and then number 3 is that lack of movement. So your vascular system needs movement to stay flexible. The sedentary lifestyle equals then, of course, stiffer arteries.
All right, number 4 is poor sleep. Guys, we talk about this all the time and how important it is. It's one of the most crucial factors in your health. So sleep deprivation raises your cortisol. It also raises your blood pressure and also raises that inflammation.
And then number 5 is that metabolic dysfunction. So again, if you're consistently having higher numbers, you might want to talk to your doctor about this. But the metabolic dysfunction is when your insulin resistance and excess body fat are strongly linked to hypertension.
All right, well, here's how to improve your blood pressure naturally. So here's the good news with all of this. Blood pressure is highly responsive to lifestyle changes.
So the first thing that we can do is walk daily, even just a 20 to 30 minute day walk. So walking for 20 to 30 minutes every day can lower your resting blood pressure and improve circulation.
That sounds simple, effective, and consistent.
Number 2 is to optimize our diets. So focus on whole foods, leafy greens, because that will give us more potassium, and then lean proteins. We want to, again, reduce that excess sodium, so the salt that my husband was talking about, and those ultra-processed foods.
All right, number 3, we want to add some resistance training. This improves your vascular function and insulin sensitivity. So 2 to 4 times per week is what you want to aim for when it comes to a target, especially if you're starting out. You'll do those 2 times per week on that lower end, but aim for that 4 to 5 on the higher end.
Yep, and then number 4 is to manage our stress. So intentionally managing it as well. This is obviously a non-negotiable here. So try to implement one of these into your daily routine. Breath work is one of them. You could do meditation or spending more time outdoors. You can also multitask. You could spend more time outdoors by taking a walk.
All right, number 5, you definitely want to prioritize that sleep. You're going to be aiming for 7 to 8 hours of quality sleep, and that's going to help regulate your nervous system, also help regulate those hormones and blood pressure as well.
And then not number 6, but what happens when we do fix our blood pressure? So when we improve our blood pressure, you're not just protecting your heart, you're improving your brain health, your energy levels, your longevity, and overall resilience.
Yeah, it's one of the highest ROIs and health metrics that you can focus on. So let's jump into now the final takeaways that we have for you. If you're serious about your health, know your numbers.
Yep, track them, understand them, improve them, because what gets measured
gets optimized.
All right, so if this episode helped you, please share it with someone who you love or a friend who's ready to get their blood pressure checked or hasn't gotten their blood pressure checked in a while. Make sure that you are sending this to them to tell them all the benefits of getting their blood pressure checked.
Yeah, it could genuinely change or even save their lives. So that's what we have for you on today's episode. Make sure that you hit that follow and subscribe button so you never miss another episode. And also leave us a rating and review. We hope that you go out there, implement some of these steps into your life so that you can be more superhumanistic, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.